Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching! I'm your host Honest Dan, let's talk movies. Welcome to my rapid fire romance and comedy edition. Let's get started. A gamer girl quits her esports team when they act sexist toward her. She starts up her own all-female team with quirky girls and hires Ruby Rose to coach them and climb the ranks of esports. Oh man, I was waiting a long time for this bullshit, and boy howdy, did it disappoint. Go figure. This movie is as piss poor as they come. It paints male gamers as sexist, or so socially awkward that I can't name a single gamer who acts like that. It got to the point where I firmly believed that no one working on this movie is an actual gamer. Of course, the female characters don't fare any better, who are so over the top in their personalities that I've seen better writing for female characters in 80s action movies. Where I get really bored is when the story tries to have a heart. Bitch, please, it has as much heart as a fatality from Kano. And the gaming segments are so very poorly done. Much like Space Jam 2, the game is unknown and therefore no one can follow whatever the rules are. It's predictable, it's not funny, it's groan-worthy, and sadly not as hilariously bad as I wished. On the plus side, this is hilariously Ruby Rose's best role since Orange is the New Black, which ain't saying much. If you're gonna hork down feminist juice, at least do it in a way that I can laugh at, instead of retreading tropes that any and all nerd-centric comedies have done in the past. Not recommended. My honest rating for One Up, a 2 out of 5.
I'm a nationally ranked player.
With far more skill than most of you.
That's not remotely true.
It's kinda true.
Kelsa is a teenage trans girl who develops a crush on Cal. Cal makes it known that the crush is mutual, and the budding romance begins to make waves in school and their personal lives. Boy, reviewers are raking this thing across the coals. I know it's not good, but I don't think it's that bad. The biggest gripe that I have with this story is that slowly every main character becomes unlikable to varying degrees. When Kelsa loses Em as her friend, who feels betrayed that Cal picked Kelsa over her, Cal doesn't seem like he's all that concerned that he caused a rift in their friendship. For that matter, Kelsa stupidly didn't tell Em that she liked Cal too, which could have resulted in a good laugh. And the fact that Kelsa was fostering that crush that she and Cal both had on each other, behind Em's back, her anger is justified. Even just focusing on the relationship itself, Cal is annoying. And I hesitate to challenge anyone to a drinking game of taking a shot for every time either he or Kelsa say, "Why are we so awkward?" I like that this is a relationship between a cis boy and a trans girl. I don't see that often. I like the ending. It's mature and amicably handled. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a chuckle here and there. It's not especially funny, and because I didn't really like the main characters all that much, I couldn't get into their romance, especially toward the second act. Not as bad as I was led to believe, but yeah, it's still not that good either. My honest rating for Anything's Possible, a weak 3 out of 5.
Why are we so awkward?
I don't know.
Angourie Rice is Honor. She is a ruthless high school senior that is sure that she's going to get into Harvard. But when she discovers that she's one of 4 candidates, she sets out to sabotage the others to increase her chances. Oh, thank God! A strong, capable female role that seems to make fun of strong, capable female roles. At first, Honor is written to be perfect, straight A's, bound for a prestigious elite future in Harvard, and popular and pretty at her school. But thankfully, the writers are smart enough to be self-aware that she's toxic and highly manipulative. Her character arc is essentially realizing that she's been a bitch and learns how to appreciate the things that she's been taking for granted. Kind of anyway. It's more like her sabotaging opens the other students' eyes to a better path that makes them happy and embrace who they are. Of course, Gaten Matarazzo is great, Amy Kume is adorably grumpy, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse, why are you playing so many creeps these days, dude? It's a teen comedy, but it's cute for what it is. And I do like Angourie Rice as an actress, who absolutely carries this flick. So, harmless enough, recommended. My honest rating for Honor Society, a 4 out of 5.
Life gives other people lemons, they make lemonade. Life gives me lemons, I sell them for $1 to some chump who doesn't know I got them for free.
Santino Fontana and this chick don't get along very well but are on the path of finding romance. Thinking about doing a Lifetime/Hallmark dedicated rapid fire in the future. It's cute for what it is, if not a bit formulaic for a sappy rom-com. Which is why it's on the Hallmark Channel. If you recognize Fontana from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, then you can probably guess that he's going to show off his singing chops. Since I am a fan of jazz, it's easy enough to enjoy those scenes. But when he's not, yeah, it's cute and charming enough. His chemistry with Krista Rodriguez is solid, and the two bounce off of each other very well. Even though nothing will tug at your heartstrings, it is honest about the realities of divorce and how it affects the kid. Better stuff has certainly been written, but in a harmless way, it's still tender enough to feel like there's heart to it. My only gripes are toward the end of the second act where, you guessed it, there's a misunderstanding and the couple breaks up. What makes it particularly bad is that common sense somehow didn't take hold, making the whole thing feel contrived. But of course, they get back together because it's still a Hallmark movie. You're not missing anything if you decide to skip it. But if you feel like just relaxing and watching a nothing movie with your mom, or you're a fan of Fontana from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, it's really not a bad time. My honest rating for Just One Kiss, a 4 out of 5.
Stop it. You're making a scene.
Somebody has to. You should be really proud. You did that in those shoes.
Get out of here.
Channing Tatum is an army vet trying to get back into service. His only way in is if he escorts a military dog named Lulu to her handler's funeral and then to her euthanization. Damn! Tatum's directorial debut, and he came out a-swingin'. Also, my bad, this is definitely a drama, but there's just enough comedy in here to kinda justify its place here. What seriously gets me about this movie as a whole is just how earnest Tatum's performance is. Sure, he mugs it up, charmingly fast talks like he always does, but I feel like that works for this character, who is suffering from PTSD, and his wisecracking and over-the-top personality is more of a coping mechanism than anything. And of course, you can feel the love and passion put into this movie due to it coming from a real road trip that Tatum had with his dog, named Lulu, when he found out that she had cancer and was a cathartic filmmaking journey for him. And you can see that radiating in every scene, and that's a very good thing. The only real downside is when the movie treks a little too deep into its comedy. The marijuana farm scene with Kevin Nash and the hotel bits where Tatum pretends to be blind to get a room for him and Lulu stand out as a bit try-hard for obvious setups for future drama. Despite some cutesy moments in these scenes, they're pure fluff. Dog pun not intended, except definitely intended. Have a box of tissues on standby because it will tug at your heartstrings. I'm very happy that I saw it. I laughed, I got choked up, it's a damn fine film, and I highly recommend it. My honest rating for Dog, a strong 4 out of 5.
You were definitely not the girl I thought I'd be in the tub with, but hey, you know, I'll take what I can get at this point, I guess.
Jennifer Lopez is a super famous singer about to marry another super famous singer. She finds out he's cheating on her and impulsively marries Owen Wilson on stage at her concert. What starts off as a weird revenge thing becomes real romance. Yet another sappy-ass romance flick, but this one's made by Universal and they can afford J-Lo. The setup is about as stupid gets, but I've seen worse. Make no mistake, any world-famous person who impulsively marries a random person is layers upon layers of idiotic. How does she know that Owen Wilson isn't a no means I don't care kind of guy, or a murderer, or gay? There's too many question marks that real people would ask that would put a full stop to this whole ordeal. But of course, this is a lovey-dovey romance flick taking place in fantasy world, so you gotta go in on a scale. And what you go into is... fine. It honestly depends how much you like J-Lo, whom I don't, and Owen Wilson, whom I do. Though I thought his bad rom-com days were behind him. It has its cute moments, but when so much of the movie tries desperately to give her big emotional scenes with deep and meaningful dialogue, it comes across like a diet try-hard version of Notting Hill with a hint of Love Actually. Wilson does save this in my eyes, but the rest is just ego-stroking for J-Lo, who lacks any real charm herself. Good singer, but not a compelling actress. My honest rating for Marry Me, a weak 3 out of 5.
It's like math. When you get a problem wrong, you just don't give up on it. Keep trying till you get it right.
Andrew works as a party host and strikes up a complicated friendship with a woman and her autistic daughter. It is going to be pretty hard to talk about this objectively since it has such incredible timing on a personal level. So much of this movie is tackling themes of trust issues, hopeless romance, and making assumptions about your feelings when that may not necessarily be the case. Andrew is a wonderful protagonist who embodies the young adult mindset of being fresh out into the world, thinking you know what's what until you realize how much you don't. Writer, director, and star Cooper Raiff is exploding with charm and charisma that keeps you smiling when the tone is light and breaks your heart when it's dramatic. Of course, Dakota Johnson has been winning me over for the last few years with her output, making this one of my favorite roles, which goes double for Leslie Mann, who damn near broke my heart in several scenes, and that's a very good thing. I might say that some moments go nowhere and select subplots don't get enough development, but I'd be lying if I said that mattered a whole lot to me. It's a story that's brutally honest with what it wants to say, but still sensitive enough to let you know that even though things may not go in the direction that you think it's going in, there's still hope. If you're good with punches to the feels, I highly recommend this. It's certainly an important film to me right now. My honest rating for Cha-Cha Real Smooth, a 5 out of 5.
I don't understand how you're so good at this game.
I'm not that good. I'm just a lot better than you.
Wow.
Esai Morales is a college professor who strikes up a romance with a young Chinese woman who says that she's a lesbian. Going from a gut punch in a good way to a gut punch in a bad way. Never in my life have I seen a movie try so hard to be erotic, comedic, and melodramatic and just so effectively implode on itself by the time the credits roll. What grown-ass adult in this day and age would read a bunch of sappy and cryptic love notes from a complete stranger and assume that he's in pursuit of romance? For all he knew, this chick was crazy and ready to chop his dick off and put it in a jar. And yes, while this supposed lesbian girl is bonking a man is explained later on, dear shit, does it take its sweet time getting there, and boy do the reasons not make a whole lot of sense. Subplots and side characters get screen time that mean nothing to the overall narrative, and the writing is so pretentious that even a high school student writing cringy slam poetry could do better than this shit. Random ass video game graphics that make the N64 look like photorealism, that shit comes out of nowhere and is never explained. What hurts the most is Esai Morales. If I told you he's one of the most underrated actors, you would not believe me if you saw this for how bad he is. Though I blame the direction more than his talent. Watching this is its own form of torture, and I never want to think about it ever again. My honest rating for Art of Love, a 1 out of 5.
I must tell you, I'm a lesbian.
And I must warn you, I'm a dinosaur.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.